Hi, this is Dr. Joanny Liu, and welcome to this week's live Facebook livecast, I guess. Oh, I'm giving you a few minutes. Let your friends know that I'm on right now because I have a really important message. This week I was supposed to be talking about why football isn't responsible for concussions, and it's got in the news a very special meaning because of what's happened in Plano, Texas this week when a young man killed his mother and brother and then himself. So imagine how terrible that must be. So McCann Utu Jr., and I hope I'm not fracturing his name, suffered a concussion, actually 2 concussions, in 2013, and he hasn't been the same yet, or the same since. I'm pretty overwhelmed by this story because the thing is that it changed his life, and he really didn't have a chance. Unfortunately, the medical authorities did the right thing. They were trying to get him to go through the return to play protocol or whatever concussion protocol that he had in 2013, and it was meant to keep him safe. But at the same time, these return to play protocols don't actually show someone or don't actually contain the information and the tactics and the strategies that are actually going to return a player successfully back to play. So my research has told me that this young man, as witnessed by his friends, changed quite a bit. And some of them think that he was very depressed too. He started hanging out with different people. He started hanging out doing things that weren't good for him. He was a changed person. They said he had too much time on his hands because he was no longer attending basketball practices. So the reason why I'm doing these Facebook Lives is to help people to have an understanding of why concussions happen, that it's not just because of a blow to the head. There's a lot more around what's going on in a person's life that has influenced them, that has real psychological implications for why a concussion has actually hurt them in the first place. So you're in the right place. If you've had to quit your job because of your concussion, that you can't function, you're in the right place. If you've had to change your life around, if you had to put things off that you want to do because of your concussion, you're in the right place. If you're depressed, you're in the right place. If you have any thoughts at all about suicide, I'll tell you a little bit about why this is so important to me. Because in February 2015, I was taking a course about speaking from the stage. And one of the questions that was asked of the students was, what do you imagine would be the cost to the client had they not accepted your offer to help? And the answer came immediately to me. It was suicide. And then I cried. And then after, this is going on, she's saying, and some of you will be saving lives. And I thought, oh my God, it just made me cry even more. And that was the reason why I wrote my books. My books are or contain the processes that help you psychologically to get over that concussion. So if you or anyone that you know is going through a hard time right now, then it's really important that you get those books right now. And so this is my latest one. So that's my shameless plug for me. So right now I'm just going to go back to our topic. Okay? So football is not the reason why concussions happen. People get concussions from just walking down the street. Something falls out of the sky. You get a concussion when you're getting out of your car because you hit your head on the top of the door. You get a concussion because you fall down, accidentally. You're not even an athlete. You're not doing anything unusual. So concussions can happen to anybody, anywhere, at any time, any place. And they can happen to a person as early as being a baby. And I know that some people have been suffering with the same symptoms for the past 40 years. And their problem started because of a concussion. So think about it, okay? So football is not the reason why people get concussions. The reasons why we get concussions are because something has made the brain weak. And it's because we are thinking and dealing about the things that are causing stress in our lives. And when we have a stressed thought, when we are unhappy about something over and over again, what's happening is that we are flooding our brains and our bodies with stress hormones, such as cortisol, okay? So if we're having these stressful bouts over and over again, if we keep thinking the same bad thoughts over and over again, we start feeling very helpless, okay? And we start getting very unhealthy. And that includes our brain. Because these chronic bouts of stress actually starts making the brain crave these stress hormones, and all it does is start encouraging us to think the same way over and over again. So that does not lighten up the load until we can consciously start thinking our way out of it. And that's the key, is actually paying attention to how you feel and to what you're thinking about. That's the key. And you can do it. I mean, I started doing this myself probably a good year ago, because I knew that I was also running into trouble. But the thing is that you're not necessarily going to have a concussion just because you're going through these stressful bouts. Because the thing is like I said, these stress hormones go all over your body. So it just depends on where you happen to be weak. For some people, it is their head. For other people, it could be their legs, their arms, their heart, their breasts. It really all depends, and that is why every person has a different situation, and that is why everybody has to deal with their own set of problems and start looking forward to possibilities. If you're already in a state where you're suffering from post-concussive syndrome, it's not too late for you to do something. In fact, if you're here right now watching this video, I know that you're looking for answers, or you're looking for answers for a loved one. You see, what happened to McCann can happen to anybody. And it's certainly been happening to a lot of football players, a lot of ex-football players, and also to a lot of ex-hockey players. You know, these are pros, right? And these are guys that make all the news. And I also found out that his family donated his brain to research. What are they going to find? I don't know. But I think I'm much more interested in what's happening with you, the person who's living right now a very tough, unhappy life. Because on top of everything that you may have been facing at the time around your concussion, now you also have to face this as well. It doesn't seem fair, does it? Okay, anytime we have problems with the head, it's because we're confused. Okay, so you can equate that with a cold or a flu. Okay, why are they similar? Because when we have a cold, our head's stuffed up. Our flu, you know, same thing. Our head's probably stuffed up. We're probably really tired and fatigued. We're not thinking very well. Well, it's the same thing when you have a concussion. Confusion. There's confusion on both sides because they all have something to do with our brain, okay? So you're not sitting around thinking that you're going to get a cold. You're not about thinking that you're going to have a concussion. None of that is ever in your mind before it happens. But something in your life is causing you confusion. And if you're still suffering from PCS, you better go back and look at those particular issues and do something about them. Taking positive, constructive action. That's the important tip that you've got to take away here, because you can heal your concussion all by yourself. But the thing is that we've got to use our thinking faculty, and you've got to use it in a positive, constructive way where you go back. What are you worried about? What concerned you at the time that your concussion occurred? Because if you still have PCS, then you still have the problem and you haven't dealt with it yet. That's what we need, is the courage to face our problems and do something about it. You need to do something about it. It's not difficult. Do you want to live a healthy, happy life again? Do you want control back? Well, then you've got to take control of your mind and your body. And your brain is part of your body. Where your mind goes, your body follows. So if you're taking positive, constructive action on that, whatever that dilemma was, whatever that worry was, whatever it was that was causing you confusion, you will cure your concussion. Because the thing is that this information is actually available to us in the research that has already been done in neuroscience and all its different branches. I mean, I'm really, truly serious about this. The information is already there. We don't need to do any more research. It's kind of funny because I just came upon a research paper from some neuroscientists who were saying, according to their research, that the word concussion is confusing. This is the type of stuff that they're researching now. Isn't that a big laugh? It's not funny at all. Maybe I'll laugh about it more in about 20 years. Maybe by then they'll have woken up. No, I want you as a suffering person or who knows somebody who's suffering right now, who has changed their personality, you can help them to do something right now. And that is to help them to learn what the lesson is that they need to learn. Go back with them, have an honest discussion with them, what was bothering them at the time of their concussion, and help them to solve that problem to their satisfaction. Not yours, but to theirs. Now they have to totally trust in the process, and you have to be totally trusting in them, that they will deal with this problem the way that they see fit. Okay? I don't want you dictating to them a solution to the problem. No, what you should be doing is just being their accountability partner. If you do have some really good suggestions, yes, absolutely, bring them forward. But other than that, they are allowed to be as creative as they want to be because they have to regain control of their brain and their mind. That is the most important thing that anybody can do for someone who's suffering in this particular instance. So I'm saying again, football is not the cause. The blow of the head is not the cause of a concussion. It is the stress that they were experiencing around a problem that was going on in their lives. I cannot say this enough times because this is something that needs to go out into the world so that we don't have to have any more suicides. So we don't have to have friends watching other friends go down the tube. So we don't have to see families dismantled because the brain doesn't work. We've got to do something about this today. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week, I'll have another segment, and I'll be in my kitchen for a special concoction for the brain. God bless you, and take care of your mind and your brain. Bye.